where moving forward, how does this bode for Brooklyn in terms of now losing Steve Nash as a coach and then losing Kyrie Irving too? How do they look moving forward?
Well, losing Nash is a positive, so we can go and get that out the way. Then the rest of the Brooklyn Nets, we are getting to a point where they are becoming like easily one of the biggest disappointments so far in the season, because I don't really see how there's an out for them. I knew that this team was going to be bad defensively. However, I didn't know they were going to be so bad that they were going to be like at some points of the season. I know it's early, but early on they were like easily the worst defense in the NBA. Even with their offense, when Simmons and Kyrie were both available, they were still a mediocre offensive unit. And the real problem is they just don't have enough. Ironically, this is the same style of team that Durant didn't want to be on to begin with. He left a similar situation on in OKC. If anything, actually OKC might have been better just because the defensive unit was much sounder over there. But long story short,
better team too. The OKC team was a better team too.
A better team. But he claimed that he didn't want to be on a team where it was just him and another star. And if you took you took Russ off the team, then it's a bunch of other questionable players, and playing with somebody like Robertson, who's not a 3-point shooter, so the defense just doesn't pay him any attention. Same thing basically was Ben Simmons and at time Nick Claxton as well. So he's finding himself in like a very similar situation, ironically. So I know for a fact he don't want to be there, which we also knew before the season began. But just as a team as a whole, like as optimistic as we can be with a lot of these players, it's just not enough. And so if Kyrie's missing games, which already when he was playing, it was still looking questionable. But if he's missing games and Kevin Durant is having like a crazy usage rating right now, just for them to try to like walk their way into a competitive game, not even guaranteeing a win, bro, the team is like in such a problematic state that I don't know how we just don't go back to where we were before, which is Durant demanding a trade.
I agree. And to clarify for you, Chilltown, are you trying to say that the defense is better and the team is better without Kyrie Irving?
The perimeter defense has improved dramatically since Kyrie Irving has been off the floor. No doubt about that.
Don't you think that's more of just a coincidence? I mean, they went up against the Wizards and then the Hornets as well. Those aren't really strong offensive teams. They did go up against Dallas, which is good, but I think that's just more of a coincidence rather than, Kyrie Irving's out, they're going to be playing this level of defense all the time. I just don't believe in that.
Well, you also got to take into consideration when you get something like that off your unit, the energy changes. And not only does the energy change, it changes from both sides of the basketball. So when Kyrie Irving is off the floor, a guy like Cam Thomas, who knows now that I'm going to play more, as opposed to when he's playing, well, I know that I'm not going to be out here that long. I don't know what kind of effort I can really give. I don't know what kind of effort I can really give defensively, because I'm not going to be out here for more than 10 minutes. But if I know I'm going to be out here 20, 25 minutes, if I know I'm going to be out here for a long time, I can give you a better effort. And I know that that's going to change the game. So not only him, I'm talking about the rest of the guys on that perimeter as well. So I think that has a lot to do with why they've been playing better.
I think that's more of the reason is that Steve Nash and the firing of Steve Nash and Ime Udoka, coming into, not yet, but coming into, I think that's more of the reason of high energy rather than Kyrie Irving not being there. I think as soon as Steve Nash got fired, I seen more levels of energy and more levels of effort from all of those guys as a whole in terms of defense.
Actually, I agree. Too.
I don't. And the reason why I don't is because this has happened over the last 4 games since Irv went out the lineup. When Irv was in the lineup, just exactly what you guys just got finished talking about. They were historically bad defensively. Irv goes out of the lineup. All of a sudden, over the last 4 games, they're barely giving up 100 points. They're one of the top 5 teams in the league defensively on the perimeter since Irv is going out of the lineup. Now, when Steve Nash was fired, that still was going on. I don't mean specifically what's going on now. I'm talking about when Steve Nash left, they still were one of the worst defensive teams. Now, Irv is out of the lineup. The energy has picked up. The level of play has picked up. All of these things have picked up. Now, I've always felt like Irv was problematic, and I can't put a price tag on a guy who knows that he's going to play. And I can't put a price tag on his effort. So when I get guys who know for a fact, I'm going to play more, I'm going to get more shots, I'm going to be more involved in the offense, I'm going to be more involved defensively, that's going to raise my level of effort. And that's across the board with a lot of perimeter guys. So with Irv out of the lineup, that means that those minutes that Irv had, that's going to get redistributed to everybody.
When did Steve Nash get fired again? Was it after that the second Pacers game, or before?
I want to say
it was the same time. In fact, when Steve Nash got fired after they beat Indiana, and then Irv ended up getting suspended. That same.
So that Bulls game was the first game without Nash, right?
Right.
And that Bulls game, Kyrie played bad. Kyrie played bad offensively, but the defense did look better in that game. They only allowed 108 points. They're actually playing well defensively. The fourth quarter they just let up, and then the fourth quarter they just mounted a comeback. So that's why I'm saying, like, if that evidence right there is showing me Steve Nash left, the energy of the defense improved exactly after that game, I'm crediting that more towards Steve Nash being fired rather than Kyrie Irving.
Let me be clear. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm agreeing with the fact that they've been playing mediocre offensive teams. Like I can't jump to a conclusion yet. The Hornets are a bad offensive unit. Washington is also mediocre, if I'm not mistaken, offensively. And then actually they're horrible offensively. And then I know Luka himself can kind of carry a team, which he kind of did, but they haven't really faced a quality offensive unit for me to gauge how well the defense is. And I think that's a better representation of who they are defensively rather than like them getting better effort or Kyrie not on a team anymore. I just think they've been playing trash offensive teams in the last 4 games. That's all.
So over the next, so we talking about, what's today? Today is Tuesday. So in a couple of days, they got to go see the Lakers. They got to go see the Lakers and the Clippers. So we'll have a better idea of who this team is.
The Clippers and Lakers
they're the 2 worst offenses.
Yeah, they're the 2 worst offenses in the NBA.
They got to go. They got to go out west. They got to go see the Lakers. They got to go see the Clippers. They got to go see Sacramento, and they got to go see Portland in the next 4 games.
New York too. New York.
Well, I think they see the Knicks on Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
I think they see the Knicks on Wednesday, and then they got to go out west to see those teams. Now, to get a better, you can't when you talk about the NBA. We play who is in front of us. So with that being said, when I look at who Brooklyn has played since Kyrie Irving has gone out of the lineup, this is what's in front of us. And this is what they've produced since he's gone out of the lineup. So since he's gone out of the lineup, this is what they've been doing. And that's what I'm gauging on right now. Is that going to change in a month? Is that going to change in a couple of weeks? Maybe. But as of right now, this is what they're doing. And I don't think it's a coincidence.
How about Memphis, Philly, Toronto, Indiana, Blazers? I think that's a much better. The Lakers and Clippers are literally the 2 worst offenses, and by like a very wide margin in the NBA right now.
Yo, Ticket, can we get you to chime in on this whole Kyrie situation, and also whether you think he will retire?
Yeah, man, I don't know what the hell Chilltown talking about. I just got out of sensitivity training in a meeting with Adam Silver. You know what I'm saying? I had to pay a $500,000 fine and go through all these steps to get back on, just to put my foot on Mars' ass. Because Mars, you got a line of people that's keeping me off your ass, boy. You understand what I said to you, man? You understand? You ain't got to be mad, Mars. You don't got to be afraid. You don't got to be afraid.
Why every time? Why every time we get on the show together, you just gotta address
Mars. Just like in The Wire. Just close your eyes and accept it, boy.
Don't be scared.
Whoa.
Don't be scared. Get to the point, Ticket.
Let's
get to the point, Ticket. Ain't nobody scared of you.
Please.
What?
Please.
Pause. Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Don't pause. Get to the point, Ticket.
I'm talking about when they off prop Joe. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that. So get to the point, Ticket.
Yeah, the point is you ain't here cap a lot of records. That's
no,
the point.
I ain't. No, I'm not. Everything I said is fact. I walk you down every time I talk to you. You ain't talking about nothing, homeboy.
You're going triple. You're going triple and quadruple platinum.
Here we go.
With all that cap you doing, you ought to be a damn shame.
Get to the point, Ticket. All you're doing is talking.
The point is this, man. They're not going anywhere without Kyrie, so you can cut that narrative out. And you got a lot of people hating on Ime Udoka. He's supposed to be the head coach. They're hating, trying to stop this man from getting the gig. Listen, man, as I told you guys last week, they're a couple of moves away from being a very good team.
No, they're not.
They just got to tighten some stuff up on their roster.
They're not. No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are, my man.
Okay,
yes,
so those couple of moves
that
they're away, Ticket. What are those moves? Where are they lacking?
Okay, so I just told you this last week, but then watch this. But here's how you cap. You'll sit up here and say the same thing about the Lakers. Oh, they got to make some shooting moves and they'll be right.
No,
but then you come to the Brooklyn Nets and you talking all this cap.
No, I
But
never
you
said
said
that.
they got to make a couple tweaks to get some shooting on the roster.
We're talking about me. If we're going to talk about me, what I said about the Lakers, if you're going to shoot the long ball, you have no shot. You have to play to your strength. Where did I say that the Lakers were going to be good at? You got to play in the mid-range, and not only play in the mid-range, that's going to expand the defense, which is going to open up one-on-one opportunities at the rim. I never said anything about them getting more shooting. Get your story straight when you talk to me, Ticket. Get your story straight.
Okay, big fella. No problem, big fella. No problem.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I seen you on ESPN a couple weeks ago. I don't want no smoke with you, man.
Oh, here we go.
You the myth. They got Richard Jefferson. They got Richard Jefferson highlighting you. You know what I'm saying?